Alright, so yesterday we saw how to graph lines. And we need to have the y by itself. First thing today, on the first question, let me just put one question. I know you guys have room at the right, so I have that room right there. All we want, basically the y by itself, everything else on the other side. So let me move the 2y to the left. Obviously, I'm going to switch the sign. So I'm going to have negative 2y is equal to 2x minus 4. Notice also how I swapped the 2x and minus 4. But I didn't switch the sign because I kept them on the same side of the equal sign. Now let me divide everything by negative 2. Remember, my goal is get the y by itself. So I have y equals negative 1x plus 2. Okay, so negative 1x plus 2. I know I have to, this plus 2, that's where I begin. So on the y-axis, let me mark positive 2. Now my slope, the number in front of the x, I need it as a fraction. Let me put a little 1 at the bottom. Because remember, now this thing tells me go down 1 to the right. From the point, let me go down 1 to the right. Let me make a line that goes through my points. Let's assume that's the line. And that's what we do. What I want, technically, when I'm going to graph this, I want the y to be by itself. I want a fraction in front of the x, because that tells me how to move. And I want a number at the end, because that tells me where to begin on the y-axis. So looking at question number 2, let me move the y to the left, change the sign. So you have positive y is equal to x. Since I want a fraction in front of the x, I'm going to put 1 over 1. Right? I want a fraction in front of the x. I want a number at the end. Since I don't have anything, let me put a plus 0. So now I know that I'm going to begin at positive 0. So on the y-axis, I'm going to mark 0. Then for my slope, I know I have to go 1 up, 1 to the right. From the point, let me go 1 up, 1 to the right. Now just let me connect my points. And there's my line. Alright, so you guys have this. Basically, this worksheet is like this. Any questions on this? Just as an idea, just real quick, as an idea, I want y by itself. I want a fraction x, and then I want another number. If you're missing anything, put a 0 for what you're missing. What I mean with that is, if I was to give you guys y equals 3, replace that as y equals 0x plus 3. Once again, if you're missing the x term, put a 0x for it, because you can put 0 over 1, and you can move on out. If I only give you something like y equals 2 over 3x, you replace that with y equals 2 over 3x plus 0. So once again, if I give you this, no x term, you put a 0 term for the x. If I give you the x term but not the other number, put a 0 for the other number. Right? If you're missing one of the two, put a 0 for it. All right. Any questions? Number 3. Looking at question number 3, I want the y on the left, which I already do. So let me move the 2x and let me move the negative 24 to the right. I'm going to switch the signs. So I have 6y is equal to negative 2x plus 24. Make sure the 2x and the 24, once I move them, I change the signs on each. Let me divide everything by 6. Again, y equals negative 2 6. Let me simplify that as negative 1/3. 24 divided by 6, let me simplify that as 4. So I can start a positive 4. Now my instruction says go down 1, 3 to the right. So let me go down 1, 3 to the right, and then just make a line that goes through your point. Any other questions?